He was my best friend. He was a photographer. And I was doing a lot of painting. We would spend time together a lot. He had a praying mantis that will sit on his shoulder, and it will go into the wild and it will come back on his shoulder. That was surprising to me. I never saw anybody has praying mantis as a pet. Soon he had a project in the mountains to do photography, and he fallen in love with a tribal girl. He got married with the tribal girl, and then he started living in the mountains. I started spending more time with him, going there, living months with him, trying to build his house, create a cow farm, a goats farm. Time goes on, and then he had a son. And when his son was 9 months old, I got to know that he got a prostate cancer. He didn't want to go through the treatment because he wanted to save that money for his son. And he passed. And the praying mantis, he comes. So many crises or my happy, joyous moment, he comes. Even I saw him in Vermont. It's not a common thing here. And I see his initiatives that he takes to be with me and guide me always, like he never left me. I see he comes. He comes, really. You don't have to believe, but he comes. I know that. And what you know, you don't have to believe that. You only need to believe what you don't know.
My grandmother always stayed with us when she came from Providence to New York City. I feel like I understood her in a way that both of my parents did not. After college, I lived with my parents for like 7 years. Shortly after I moved back in, my grandmother died. Maybe like 3 months after she died, we were sitting and watching television. I remember getting sort of bored with the show. I was like, why is there a pile of rags sitting on top of those books? And then it moved. My parents didn't notice anything. I said to them, there's something alive that's sitting on top of the books, and realized that it was a bird. And then I said, I think it's Grandma. It was so comfortable. It had her temperament. It was a very weird thing of feeling like the four of us are now in a room again. My mom or my dad said something like, don't be ridiculous. You're certain that something is supposed to be one way, and somehow it rotates 180 degrees, and it's another way, and you have to change, or you're changed. There's things that happen in a way that I know to be true in some unique way that I don't understand.
Here for your Friday. A little bit of patchy fog out there this morning, but the clouds are going to be sticking around. We might see a few breaks in the overcast, especially later into the afternoon. Temperatures will try to make a run at 50 in a couple of...
When my brother Chris died, he left behind the only copy of a book he made when he was in his early 20s, back in the 1970s. Unfortunately, it's totally deteriorated. Farmer Fence was my brother's alter ego. While working on this project, I kept coming back to this book. It was as if Farmer Fence was calling out to me. The winter after my brother died, my mother, sister, and I drove out to the beach. We were sitting in the car and people were just staring at the top. Finally, I got out to see what was so funny, and there was a gigantic seagull sitting there, pleased as could be. And I immediately thought, Chris. When I got back in and told my mom and sister, they looked at each other and said, Chris? Something about that experience was really familiar, like maybe I had dreamed it before it happened. So when I got back to Vermont, I looked in my journal and sure enough, I had written about a powerful dream I had a few weeks earlier where my sister and I were in a car in a wide open space and we saw a gigantic bird gleaming white.